Welcome. This is the Test 4-1 review for academic. What do you need to know to be successful on the upcoming test? You have to know how to do prime factorization. When we did the Padlet, a lot of you said in prime factorization, you have to break down the numbers into simpler numbers, into prime numbers such as, let me get my pen. You have to break it down into prime numbers such as 2, 3s, 5, 7s, and 11s. So in here, how did they break down 72? They broke it down as 2 times 36. This is prime, so we circle it. How do you break down 36? 2 times 18, so I circle the 2. How do you break down to 18? 2 times 9. So this is prime, so I circle it. And how do you break down to 9? 3 times 3. So what 5 factors make up 72? 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Or 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 2. To check your work, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 times 3 is 72. Number 2, what is the value of the expression below? So on the upcoming test, you have to know how to do order of operations. What do we highlight in order operations? Addition and subtraction. That's not in a parenthesis. So how many times am I going to highlight this expression? Twice. Right here, this addition. Right here, this subtraction. So this, notice how by highlighting it, it's breaking it up into terms. The left side is 8. And how would you solve the middle? 24 divided by, and what number is going to fall into this parenthesis? 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. Then the right side is 4. So 8 plus 2 is 10. Take away 4 is 6. So again, you have to know how to do prime factorization. And on an upcoming test, you've got to know how to do order of operations. So you highlight the addition subtraction operators, and you solve the left, middle, and right term. Number 3, Shay wrote the expression 5 groups of y plus 2 plus 4 to show the amount of money 5 friends paid for snacks at a baseball game. Write a simplified expression equivalent to the one Shay wrote. So I'm going to draw this. What's 5 groups of y plus 2? Y, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So I drew y plus 2, 5 groups of it. And then I draw plus 4. So what did I draw in all? I drew 5 y's, and then I drew plus 14. There's 14 positive. So 5y plus 14. What else do you need to know to be successful in an upcoming test? You have to figure out which property or which expression is equivalent. So there are many ways to do it. You can do it with pictures. For example, 3 groups of 4 plus x. So I need to draw 3 groups of 4 plus x. Is that the same thing as saying 3 groups of 4, 3 times 4? Yep, plus 3 x's. That's why A is correct. However, I prefer solving it. I prefer replacing the x with a number such as 1 or 2. So what if I replace this x with 2? 3 groups of 4 plus x. Let me rewrite it. 3 times 4 plus 3 times x. Let me take out a different pen color. So I'm going to replace this x with the 2 and this x with 2. So what's 3 groups of 6? 18. 3 times 4 is 12 plus what's 3 times 2? 6. 18. So both sides are equivalent 18. That is why A is equivalent. If we try B, if I replace this x with 2, this places x with 2, would that work? 2 plus 12 is 14. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. No, that is not equivalent. If I replace the x with 2, 3 times 4 is 12 divided by 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6 divided by 4. That's not going to equal 6. And then Replace the x with 2. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10. 3 times the inside will be 6. That would be 18, so no. So, also on the test, you have to know how to do percents. You will be seeing several percent questions. A shop owner offer a 20% discount off the regular price of a mirror. The amount of the discount is $3. What is the regular price of the mirror? So first of all, you may do it with pictures. So I drew a percent bar. If the whole thing is shaded, what percent would that be? 100%. But they offer 20%, which goes here, and that is $3. Do you see a relationship between 20% to 100%? Hopefully you see a relationship of times 5. 3 times, that's why it's $15 is the regular price. Maybe you do not like the picture. Maybe you prefer making a table. So how do you write 20% as a fraction? 20 out of 100. And $3 goes here. Do you see a relationship from 20 to 100 times 5 times 5? That's why it's 15. So times 5 times 5, and that's why it's 15. Number 6. Yesterday, 40% of the 425 guests at a hotel called for room service. How many guests at this hotel called for room service? So here's a picture. 100%, that's everybody in the hotel, is 425. So can I break 100% down to 10%? How do you break down 100% to 10%? Divide by 10. So 425 divided by 10 is 42.5. How do you build it back from 10% to 40%? Times 4. So 42.5 times 4 is 170 guests. Maybe you prefer a picture, a table. So how do you write 40% as a fraction? 40% out of 100, and then 425 goes here. Can I simplify this? Half of it, divide by 2, is 20 and 50. Can I simplify again? 10 and 25. How many groups of 25s go into 425? How many 25s go in 425? Let's see. How many 25s go into 425? It goes in one time. And then how many 25s go into 175? That would be 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 7 times. So times 17, that is why it's 170. Number 7, you have to know how to do measurement on a thing. So each ton is 2,000 pounds. Each pound is 16 ounces. Fei Ying dog eats 8 ounces of dog food each day. Fei Ying bought a 28-pound bag of dog food. How many 8 ounces are in this 28-pound bag? So I need to know how many times I could fit 8 ounces in 20 pounds. What's another way to say 28 pounds? 1 pound equals 16 ounces. How do you build 1 pound to 28 pounds? Times 28 times 28, so you get 448 ounces. So this bag has 448 ounces. I would like to know how many 8 ounces are in here. How many groups of 8 ounces are in here? So 448 divided by 8 is 56. So the answer is B. So the answer to number 7 is B. The answer to number 7 is B. So I need to fix that up. Number 8, 9, 10, 11. So the last thing you need to know is finding relationships. So this is a graph. It shows the number of points, and then it shows the number of balloons popped. So fill out this table. 1 balloon pop is 25 points. 2 balloons pop, 50 points. 3 balloons pop, 75 points. 4 balloon pop, 100 points. What is the dependent and what is the independent? So you use the word depends. Does the number of points depends on how many balloons pop? Yes. So that means the dependent must be number of points. The independent must be the number of balloons pop. Or does this make sense? The number of balloons popped depends on the number of points. No, that doesn't make sense. So if you have a difficulty time doing dependent, independent, in science class you may have learned something called dry mix. So the dependent is always the y-axis. So this is always going to be the dependent, and the independent is always going to be the x-axis. Now, the next thing is you have to write an equation that shows the relationship between these. How do you turn a 1 balloon to 25 points times 25? How do you turn 2 balloons to 50 times 25? How do you turn 3 balloons to 75 times 25? So we are multiplying these numbers. And what are these numbers about? The balloons. What letter is it? X. So it's x times 25, and it equals points. So y equal x times 25. What is another way to, better way of writing this equation? Y equal 25 groups of x, or y equal 25x. And this relationship is multiplicative. We are multiplying the balloon numbers by 25 to get the points number. Let's try another example. So when Dylan is 3, Patrick is 5. When Dylan is 5, Patrick is 7. When Dylan is 7, Patrick is 9. So what is the relationship? Oh, before we do that, find a dependent and independent. Define Patrick's age. It depends what Dylan's age. So that means the dependent must be Patrick. The independent must be Dylan. Again, if you have a hard time figuring that out, think of science of dry mix. The dependent is always the y-axis, while the independent is always the x-axis. So now what relationship do you see here? Is it multiplying or adding? How do you build a 3 to a 5? Plus 2. How do you build 5 to a 7? Plus 2. A 7 to a 9? Plus 2. So the relationship, and what are these numbers about? Dylan age. What letter do you see here? Variable x. X plus 2. So y equal x plus 2. And then the relationship is adding. And the last thing you have to know for the upcoming test is the difference between an expression and an equation. Andrew has $12. His brother has $23. How can it be written as an equation to find the total amount of money they have? So total means add. So Andrew has 12. His brother has 23. Together they have 12 plus 23. But an equation means you have to have an equal sign. It has to equal to an answer. You have to be something equal to. So 12 plus 23 equals something. That's why it's B. Can't be D. That's an expression because it has no equal sign. And that is what you need to know for the upcoming test 4-1.